Buddy Jenn from McCreath, October 2nd, 2014. Shh, I'm going to tell you a little secret here. Get real close. St. John's Pride's having an election. I don't think the incumbents want you to know, though. It's been pretty quiet. Nobody knows. There's been nothing on television or the radio. If you're not following their Facebook page and click 85 different links to get there, you're not going to find out. Well, here it is. Jenn from McCreath is going to show it to you. What's going on? We're going to start with me ranting and raving. 2 days ago, I made a post saying I was very disappointed with the process put in place by the St. John's Pride Board of Directors and how they seem to want to strictly limit who could vote, who could run. They were asking for tons of unnecessary collection of personal confidential information about individuals, and also trying to limit their freedom of speech by forcing the people to campaign only on their new forum, which has all of 6 or 7 threads going there. 20,000 people, approximately, of LGBT people in this city, and a lot of great allies. So I would say the target here, the community, is 30,000 people, and you watch. You'll be lucky to get 50 people show up to vote. Sadly, I think this is a ploy by the incumbents. It's no secret that since I left Pride, there's been 2 cliquish groups that are trying to make themselves seen as, we are the LGBT community leader. We are the one and only. Reminds me of EGAL Canada. We are Canada's LGBT human rights organization. No, you're not. And so people are kind of mocking and laughing that I would do a video endorsing candidates when I said that I wouldn't have any trust or faith in the election or the election results. But if there's a chance to influence in any ways, if there's a chance to prove my point and say I told you so, it seems quite clear to me that every incumbent's going to get back in. Unless one of these Snow White underdogs shows up with 100 people, shows up with a slate. I don't know. There's a lot of the names that have been there before. A lot of people, in my opinion, have not done a very good job. I really hate to get personal and single people out, so I'm simply going to say, you know what? I hate to see knowledge go out the door. This has happened. We've seen complete sweeps. Incumbents have all been thrown out, but rightfully so. Too much secretiveness and too much ego, too much people doing this for themselves rather than doing it what's best for the org. Failure, same with our provincial government. The public engagement has not been there. A lot of great work was done for Pride Week this year. A lot of money was raised, but the community wasn't engaged in what and how and what they wanted, what the priorities would be. $20,000 on a parade, nice. The floats were lovely. But what about some of these other events? They were horribly organized and very poorly advertised and very poorly attended. Very small crowd for the event that was held for a trans panel discussion at the university, and little old me at the last minute put together 2 events that were not sanctioned, not even recognized on their external stakeholder events. And I got more people showing up to those, so a little bit of effort goes a long way, and that little bit of effort wasn't there, and that really made me upset. I don't even like the structure. They've completely, again, the bylaws that manage the organization have been secret and quiet until only now. We now have 2 days to digest this new structural change in bylaws, and we have all of 3 days to campaign, and then there's this voting. And it looks confusing. The structure of this board, they've got 3 top tier directors, a financial, an external, and an internal, and then 6 at large. Unlike most boards which govern and give advice to the company, this looks more like an employee org chart. where it's specific positions have specific job tasks. So you're not just asking your electorate to vote for bright people. You're asking for people who have specific skill sets. You're asking us to be job managers. Finance. And let's take a look at that one. I mean, okay, we got the incumbent in there, and we got another candidate who's withdrawn. So we've got an acclamation. The same guy that was in there last year is going to be back. Okay. Matt Caravan, might as well say his name. Seems like a nice guy. I like him. We've had some good conversations, some good dialogue. Obviously done a good job bringing money into the organization. More so, perhaps. Now, we don't know for sure because we haven't seen there's no balance sheet. They haven't put up any financials other than a copy of a grant to the feds. We don't know how much money this company made. We don't know what everything was spent on. We don't know what the policies were on the spending or whose spending decisions were. Members of the community certainly were not consulted, and that's a problem for me. So an endorsement would be moot anyway, so I'll just leave it at that. I won't comment. I hope somebody keeps an eye on the finances and scrutinizes it, because I think the public has a right to know what's going on with this money that we're giving to this organization. Co-chair external. Notice Davis Power has withdrawn as of October 2. That's today. That's major news, big news, breaking news. Noah's out. Kyra Reese, Perrin Squires. Two people who have been involved with Pride the past couple years. Two people I like who have a lot of great ideas and talents. Same time, I have some issues with their attitudes, and specifically, there seems to be a lack of respect for a lot of the great work some of the other people are doing out in this community. I talked about cliques. If you're not in the clique, you don't count, and your work's not recognized. I'm not in these cliques, and these people have not recognized the work. And because of that, I gotta say, as much as I like both of these people, I don't trust either of them. And that's sad, because I'd like to be able to endorse one or the other, but at this point I'm just gonna say, God help us all. We'll see what happens. Co-chair internal, Ken Byrne, he was there a couple years ago. Taylor Stocks, the incumbent. The brand new name, Jordan Willis Lester. Very interesting name. Best known for being a political candidate out of Conception Bay South, but someone who's also been very active and involved with the mental illness community, and recently came out as LGBT. Yes, LGB and T. This is someone I actually know, and I've had a lot of conversations with, and someone who I think this organization definitely needs new blood. It needs some outsiders. We need to break down the walls of this clique that I feel is there. And I think Jordan would be an excellent addition to the mix. Taylor and Ken, I'm sure you've done lots of good work, but as far as an endorsement, I'm going to go with Jordan. I want to see new blood in there, and I see this as a perfect opportunity to see Jordan in a leadership role. I think would help this organization. I fear that the deck's been stacked against him and he has no chance, but maybe time will tell. You just never know. Who do we got at large? Big surprise is most of the at-larges are leaving, and I'll say that's good news. One guy coming back, Charlie Murphy. Alright, I said I wasn't going to endorse the incumbents, so I'm not. Who else do we got in here? Anyone who loses at the Tier 1 level can run for the Tier 2 level. I'd rather see new names in there. I see names I don't recognize too well. Christina Mallet, Chris Chipman. Don't know anything other than the blurb they posted on the site. I know Melanie Stewart a little bit, TJ Jones a little bit. Sarah Downey and Ryan Steves, those are people who are very tuned into the world around them. I'm going to endorse the 6 unknowns. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Who am I missing? Somebody named Chris Warren. Can't read my old writing there. Their name's not on the list, but I thought I saw Chris Warren say they want in. Put these new people in. Let's do it. Kyra versus Perrin. Somebody's going to lose, and one of them's going to want to be an at-large. Ken, Taylor, Jordan, whoever, the two of them that lose that also have the right to go into the at-large discussion. So I'm going to stick with my theme of throwing out the incumbents. Sorry, guys, but it's just not good enough. And too much secrecy and too much suspicion around the way this election's been organized. Yeah, I have a sense that most of these incumbents will get back in, but maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. But yeah, there you are. Not really endorsing people as opposed to endorsing change, because I think change is desperately needed in this organization. I am not running. I will not be attending the meeting. I will not be voting. The work that I do is going to be ongoing and continuing regardless of what happens to St. John's Pride. 3 years in a row. I just don't see them as a stakeholder that I need to work with. There's some trans people that like to be working under the gays. I'd rather work away from the gays and only invite the gays that are true allies. Trans issues need to be led by trans people. And the only way for that to truly happen is to have trans organizations. And that is happening all over the country. It is evolving. Trans Pride Toronto, Rad Pride Halifax. Stay tuned, folks. There's something in the works. There will be some alternative option that will focus on not just the trans, but the bis and the pans. All these other letters in the alphabets that get left out and forgotten. Well, we're going to create something to include everybody. And I'm really excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it. And St. John's Pride Inc., I don't know. Hopefully there'll be someone willing to put the hand out and say and shake it and recognize it. Recognize good work for what it is. Don't just recognize your own work. Yeah, there it is. Hope the video wasn't too boring. And first and foremost, I just hope it gets the little secret out there. I want people to know that this event's happening. 20,000 gay people in St. John's. You might want to show up and vote here. This is an important thing for your community. Don't sit back and let the same 25 people control Pride. Because little change could do you good. Isn't that a Sheryl Crow song? I won't sing for you, but yeah. Well, we'll cut you off here. 13 minutes. Thanks. It's a long time to listen. Have a good night.